Okay, so here's the thing we're not considering.
Okay.
We're always like, Selena can't be the best assassin. What if all the other assassins legitimately suck? Okay. Oh, God's coming. For the record, I woke up like 10 minutes ago, just so everyone knows.
We have a mission. I've got other things I need to do today.
Literally, me too. I have a test I have to take. Chapter 27. K.R. wasn't in his bed when she awoke.
Weren't they in her bed?
They're usually, though, in her bed.
Maybe they went to his.
Well, let's see.
I don't think it actually specified.
Did he leave her bed? Selena, knowing or not knowing. Yeah, they do say his bed in this.
Oh, okay.
He told himself as they called around her in his bed.
Okay.
So, spicing it up like going into K.R.'s musty-ass, dusty-ass, undecorated room.
Just saying, that's not very discreet. People on either sides can hear.
Yeah. Well, no, walls of stone, solid.
Stone, but
Laws of stone, gappy.
Gappy.
Selena thanks the gods.
No one could understand that, my dear.
Sorry.
I couldn't even understand that.
Let's see, I'll just start from the beginning. I didn't even finish a sentence before I had to interrupt. K.R. was in his bed when she awoke, and Selena thanked the gods for the small mercies because she was suddenly too worn out to bother running. What?
For their morning run, so she just assumed because he's not here, they're not going to go on their morning run. Interesting. Did she assume that back when they didn't sleep in the same bed?
Well, no, usually they sleep in a whole bed.
No, but they were running before they slept together.
Yeah.
So why would she assume that just because he's not here, they're not going running?
She struggles with object permanence. His side of the bed was cold enough that she knew he'd left hours before M-, probably to fulfill his duties as captain of the guard.
He's so committed.
Man, no, he's
Except for when he breaks rules for me.
Oh, he's lying to you. That's why he left early. The guilt.
The guilt.
She lay there a while, content to daydream, to imagine a time when they could have... Oh my goodness. Listen, I told you. I woke up 10 minutes ago.
Some of us don't wake up grandly.
Daydreaming. Content to daydream. To imagine a time when they could have whole uninterrupted days with each other. When her stomach started growling, she decided it was a sign that she should drag herself out of bed. She gets
to enjoy such, lazy days when she's not out pretending to kill people.
Hey, there were many benefits to being an assassin.
Many benefits to being Adarlan's assassin, king's champion, esquire.
She'd taken to leaving some clothes in his room, so she bathed.
How long has it been? It's been 5 days.
Time skip, maybe? Not that you can ever tell in this book. So she'd bathed and dressed before returning to her own chambers. Oh my goodness.
It's only a 3-page chapter, but at this rate, this is going to be at least a 40-minute video.
Well, it's not my fault I keep yawning and have to do a little stretch.
You're right. I should have gotten you up earlier.
I haven't even read half a page.
We're 4 minutes in.
Oh my goodness. It is going to be... Over breakfast, a list of names arrived from Archer M-, written in code as she asked...
Another list of names?
Man, Archer, get out of now! Maybe he just had the butler send the list after he left.
That's right, it's all Georgina.
It's like, Georgina, you have to wait just 2 days after I'm gone. If...
No one will suspect you.
No one will suspect you. No, she won't even remember you.
Nah.
And if she do, she'll be looking for a man. I could tell them.
Nah.
Anyway.
Another coded list. Why isn't he going? Is there, going to be a solid reason for him not leaving? Or is it just going to be because Maas wanted it? Who
probably.
knows?
My affairs. I need to get my affairs in order.
My affairs. They must
with
be
what
in order.
money? Well,
I have to sell my properties. Liquidations.
I'm not very liquid right now. Oh, boy, okay. Oh my goodness, hang on, it's coming. Man, this is a doozy. With more men to hunt down, she just hoped he wouldn't squeal on her again. Nehemia didn't show up for the daily lesson with the Wardwalk, though Selena wasn't surprised by that either.
She also didn't really care that much. She wasn't so committed to the Weird-Marks anymore. She had Kale to care about.
She didn't particularly feel like talking to her friend, M-, and if the princess was foolish enough to think of starting a rebellion, ... she'd stay well enough away from Nehemia until she came to her senses, so...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just abandon your friend. Some friend that we were just like, I'll just abandon them. I won't try to do anything more. Well, I said my piece, and I'll just abandon them now.
I did my best.
I will be friends with you when you're less emotional and when you're thinking things the right way. You know?
Yeah.
It did halt her hope of finding a way to use the ward marks to get through the secret door in the library.
Oh, apparently she does care about that still.
But that could wait, M-.
It could wait until someone else could do it for her.
At least until both the temples had cooled. Yeah, good luck with that, Selena, but we've just found something that Nehemia really cares about, right? That you aren't willing to help with at all. I would not be surprised that even once your temples had cooled down, this has, like, significantly changed your friendships.
Yeah.
Because...
Yes, well, I mean, clearly their friendship's going to change.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean...
I don't think you're going to have time to reconcile, as you suggested.
Well, literally. But I think that it will be like, man, you really feel this way, huh? Anyway. I think sometimes things can happen when friends are like, we really have different values, and they actively contradict each other. And it's like, well, we can still try to be friends, but also... Anyway. The point is, I don't think Nehemia would... If Nehemia didn't fucking die in 2 chapters, I do not believe that... anything had happened because it's so much Maas writing. But I would not believe that Nehemia would just, like, revert to how she was before they had the argument.
Yeah.
I don't think she should.
She really shouldn't. They've, like... This is a big conflict they're having. It should affect things. Because it's important to Nehemia.
Yeah.
And Selena has very clearly shown that she is not important to her. And that she thinks Nehemia is a fool.
Yeah.
So, that would do something to a relationship.
Especially
because they've only been friends for, 6 months?
Yeah.
That's not a very long time to have, like, a very resilient friendship going.
Mm-hmm. After spending the day in Rifthold stalking the men on Archer's list...
Out to stalk her prey. I mean, actually, once again, the book is seeming a little bit disinterested in the plot because we keep not hearing about this. It's just like, oh, she went and did it. And move on to something else that I care about.
Yeah. Yeah, literally, like, this is supposed to be her assassinating people. So, after I did that. And now I'm home, 5 p.m. The interesting stuff can happen. Huh?
Yeah, now some people might say, oh, well, that's the actual plot of this book. So, of course, it's not going to look at the other stuff because this is the actual plot. And I'm like, I feel like the other stuff should be part of the plot, too. Because, once again, that's an opportunity to be showing more of Selena's thoughts and, like, her coming to terms with things as she's pursuing these people who are, like, enemies, supposedly, to the king, who are interested in the rebellion. And once again, she has a close friend who's trying to get her to help a rebellion. So it's like, that would be a great time to show conflict, internal conflict, to begin to show changing of opinions, like things that could be happening, things she could be seeing them do.
Yeah.
But we don't get that.
Yeah, with the amount of, like, assassinating and, like, things we've been seeing, I think... Honestly, Selena could have been, like, a castle maid.
Yeah.
And the story could stay the same, more or less. Like, there'd be a
doesn't need
little
to be
bit
the
with
assassin.
Archer, but, like, I think, you know, you could walk with that, you know?
Yeah.
But, like, man, Hole being an assassin really does not matter for this.
Mm-hmm.
So. And maybe people will be like, well, that's because, oh, I don't know if I told you, but I looked it up, at least from one Google search, the difference between, like, literary? Yes. That word, fiction. Say it.
Literary fiction?
Literary fiction and genre fiction they do have overlapping bits, but I think literary fiction is what we would call character-driven narrative. And then genre fiction would be plot-driven narrative.
Oh, I had no idea.
Just because I know people talk about literary and genre, and we don't know what that means, but we've talked a little bit about saying this is plot-driven or character-driven or focused or whatever. We've said something like that. Anyway, so some people might say, well, that's because this is a character-driven novel, so it's about, like, the personal relationships and how they're developing. Man, I really
But we're not getting to see that.
We're not getting to, yeah.
Also, the characters suck.
You gotta have really good characters to have a character-driven story that I'll enjoy, and these aren't good characters to me.
Yeah, no.
The only good one here is Archer, and that's because
He's not even house-trained.
That's because I'm devoting to putting things I like into him.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't remember what I was going to say all the way with that, but
now we've got an understanding of a difference between lit fiction and genre fiction.
But, like, man, I don't know how much of a difference is there really. And it's like, oh, I like fiction, you just like genre fiction. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's all fiction. I like good books.
Yeah.
And this book is not good to me.
Yeah.
Was it good for you? No. Crown of Midnight. It was not. Okay. Oh, I have to talk to you afterward in the chapter. Just like, yeah, fucking read the chapter.
I'm so glad it's this short. Otherwise, we'd be here all morning.
Man, I don't know where I am. Oh, yeah. So she had just, after spending the day, Selena returned to the castle, eager to tell K.R. what else she'd learned. But she didn't show up for dinner. But he didn't show up for dinner. It wasn't that unusual for him to be busy, so she dined alone.
Oh, is he guarding the meeting right now?
I think so. I don't
remember what time frame the king said. I thought he said tomorrow.
Yeah, so he could be doing that. And curled up on the couch in her bedroom with a book. She probably needed some rest. See, the difference, I feel like if this happened with KO, he'd be like, oh, where is she? Where is she?
Oh, she's gone out and done something dangerous, and now I need to find her.
Yeah.
Because she can't look after herself because she's a woman.
And then Selena's like, whatever, book time.
Bye.
He's gone.
Whatever, I don't care.
Let's see.
She's also not interested in the plot.
Yeah. She probably needed some rest, too, since the world knew she hadn't been getting any sleep this past week.
She should
Not
be
that she minded.
Okay, yes, she's 18. She's not in her mid to late 20s. But come on, all week?
Oh, listen, I can tell you when I was 18 and not sleeping very much, just because I stayed up online late into the night, I would still be exhausted.
Yeah.
So I don't think saying, 18-year-olds don't need their sleep. 18-year-olds can walk all day, play all night, and be just fine. Not that she minded. When the clock struck 10 and he still hadn't come to her, she found herself walking to his rooms. Perhaps he was waiting for her there. Perhaps he'd just fallen asleep without meaning to. You know, sometimes they're not the best at communication, as it turns out. So it's like, I was waiting for you in my bedroom. I was waiting for you in mine.
How is she so entirely oblivious to potential danger? And, like, unusual things. She just writes everything off. It's irksome.
Yeah. It seems like everyone writes everything. Oh, it couldn't be that. Oh, it couldn't be that. Oh. And maybe like, everyone's in severe denial. That's boring.
Yeah, you can't have a character-driven story in which all the characters are this poorly written and in denial.
A couple characters can be in denial. That's fine. If it's well written and they can like foil with another character or whatever.
Yeah, no one to foil with in here. I don't know, you might say something. I'm not familiar enough with identifying character foils to say if Nehemia is supposed to like foil with Selena or anything. I don't know, but I would not be able to pick out a foil in this book, even like guessing. Like I have no idea.
I could guess maybe Nehemia's a foil just in the sense that like she's very action driven and we're supposed to like see how she's trying to do stuff versus Selena who doesn't try to do anything. I would guess that might be a foil.
Here's my question.
I'm not solid on like how foils are supposed to be.
What action have we really seen Nehemia do?
That's right. She's all talk.
We've heard her talk about stuff. We saw her protect Selena. We can assume from chapter 20.
Don't ask me what chapter number.
25, the really short one when she's talking to Elena.
Oh.
Well, I'm assuming that's Nehemia. She's doing something there. But, like, the rest of her talk about, like, oh, my people, I'm so worried for them. We don't really get to see what she's doing for that.
Man, I had to think of that
because
chapter.
She only just appears for Selena's stuff, so we don't really get to know what it is she is doing. Like, how is she trying to deal with being, basically a prisoner here, but still trying to fix things? It sounds like that's what she wants to do, or what other people think she's doing. Like, we don't get to see any of that. We don't get to see much of her action.
Yeah, that's true.
Except for as it relates to Selena.
We don't get to see any action. Yeah, that's a good counter-argument. Ow. And also, man, I know I had some other idea for chapter 25, but hearing you say, like, it's Nehemia and Elena talking, I was just browsing over it again. I was like, yeah, that could totally be Nehemia and Selena talking.
Who did you think it was?
I remember I thought it was like a young Aelin who had to do something to like hide herself in Selena so that she can like survive this treachery.
Oh, I guess it could be.
No, but there's a tomb. Anyways,
the tomb makes me think it's a queen, a princess in a tomb having a conversation about another woman and a prince somewhere else. Yeah, and a prince who's not ready.
Yeah.
That's what I think anyways. It's Nehemia and Elena.
That makes a lot of sense.
You once again moved our microphone.
Man, God forbid I do anything. God forbid women do anything.
In this book. But it's anyone do anything. Read.
She hurried down the halls and stairs, her palms turning slicker with each step. Kale was captain of the guard. He held his own.
Okay, now she's getting to be a little concerned, I guess.
He held his own against her every day. He'd bested her in their first sparring match. Yeah, when she was emaciated from Endoville, great competition. Yet Sam had been her equal in many ways too. And he'd still been caught and tortured by Rourke Farran and Dash. I know.
What are you doing here? You belong in 20... What
you belong in 20...
21, 25? 2050, yeah, that's what it is, 2050.
I know, that doesn't seem far enough ahead.
Yeah, it's like, what?
Like, the open walls have to happen and everything? Anyways, but you belong in 2051. Anyway.
With Tia, whoa.
Dr. Tia, whoa. Whoa. Man. The In Death series is better than this book.
Oh, I mean, I'm certainly not as opposed to it.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Granted, the author is very written. So if nothing else, she has found her writing spot.
Oh, she is. If there's anything about Nora Roberts / J.D. Robb, is she is prolific. Man, she never stops. Why do you write like you're running out of time? Write day and night.
Which, I mean, I guess is a little unfair to compare the second book from this author to, like, Nora Roberts, but we can do it. It's totally fine.
I can do it. I've also read a little bit of Akatal. Chapter 4 was good, that's all I can say.
No.
Chapter 4 slapped. Everything's downhill from chapter 4. Like, once you get to chapter 4, just quit the book. You've read the best part.
You've read the best part. Save yourself the trouble. Just read chapter 4. Then return it to the library.
Still died the
In
most...
fact, don't even check it out. Just sit in the library, read it, and then put it on the reshelving cart.
Yeah.
Always use the reshelving cart. You can start again. I've had enough. Go on.
You know, you're having some awfully big talk for someone whose foot's right on my bed where I can smack it. Ooh. Still died the most brutal death she'd ever seen. And if Kale...
That was the most brutal death she'd ever seen.
She's 18. How much experience does she have?
She was in Indovir for a year.
Yeah, he died more brutally than getting a pickaxe stuck through you multiple times?
Yeah. I don't know, maybe she doesn't consider starvation a brutality.
Yeah, she considers starvation to be a gentle death. She was running now. Like Sam, Kale was admired by almost everyone. And when they'd taken Sam from her, it hadn't been because anything Sam had done. No, they'd done it to
she's
get
got
to
trauma
her.
from her last boyfriend. Now she's projecting onto this one.
She reached his rooms, part of her still praying that she was just being paranoid. Only part of her. It seems like most of you would be seeing, like, please, I'm just paranoid.
Well, she doesn't have that much self-awareness.
But that he'd be sleeping in the bed. Please stop shaking the bed, please.
Oh, my apologies.
It makes it really difficult. Like, that kind of little movement, I don't know, makes it really difficult for me to read.
Okay, Princess on the P.
Hey, you're shaking my whole body. I'm trying to read. I'm getting, like, seasick over here. I'm getting motion sickness over here. She reached his rooms, part of her still praying that she could call up with him and, man, make love to him and hold him through the night.
Does it really say that?
Yeah. Say you wanna... But then she opened the door to his bedroom
Found his lifeless
and saw
body.
a sealed note addressed to her on the table beside the door. M-dash. Placed atop his sword,
Whoa.
which hadn't been there this morning. It was placed casually enough that the servants might have assumed it was a note from K.R. himself, M-dash. And that nothing was wrong. Oh, from K.R.
No, isn't it a note from K.R.? So the servants would have assumed it was one, or was to him?
It's saying it was placed casually enough that the servants might assume it was a note from K.R.
Isn't that what it is?
Well, she doesn't know that. We don't know that. You're assuming it is. I, however, have read I was read a little bit ahead.
And know what? He got kidnapped? He's being held hostage?
Let me fucking read the book.
Okay, read. Let us know what happened.
And that nothing was, himself, M-dash, and that nothing was wrong.
Baba Yellowlegs ate him?
Oh my goodness, he was delicious. It's always the tender ones.
Yeah.
She ripped open the red seal and unfolded the paper with a voice seal on for the letter.
Something understandable, but you can, other than that, go crazy.
Can I have the microphone in my mouth while I'm talking?
That would not be understandable. Your mouth is not that big. But you could, you can hold the microphone, you can get it way up close to you.
We have the captain. When you're tired of stalking us, come find us here.
That was good.
It listed the address of a well house in the slums of the city.
Bring no one, or the captain will die before you set foot in the building. If you fail to arrive by tomorrow morning, we'll leave what's left of him on the banks of the Avery.
Oh my goodness, I bet something's going to happen where she's like, oh, I'm torn between K.R. and Nehemia, and she's gonna fucking let Nehemia die. She's staring at the letter. Every one of the residents she'd looked into, every one of the restraints she locked into place after she'd rampaged through Indoville, snapped free.
Another trope I don't like.
Yeah. An icy, endless rage just swept through
More
Hall.
icy? Like Dorian's icy
goodness.
rage?
Wiping away everything except
Like
the
the
plan.
magic that is known to be running strong through the airs of Terrasen?
Except the plan that she could see with brutal clarity. The killing calm, Aubryn Hamel had once called it. Even he had never realized just how calm she could get when she went over the edge. If they wanted Otterland's assassin, they'd get her. And Ward helped them when she arrived. Section break. This is so stupid. Kale didn't know why they...
Dang, why is the font so huge on the letter? Did you think there was a spider on you?
I totally felt like how I'm laying my fingers go to sleep in this position. And I totally thought there was like something crawling on my finger.
Me leans forward to ask about the giant letters. Tia notices the letters and gets jump scared.
What letter are you talking about in the...
The note letters, they're so big.
Yeah. Kiss me on the note and love me like a... Kale didn't know why they chained him up. Only that he
I
was...
mean, it's not like they wanted to keep him captive.
Only that he was thirsty and had a pounding... Oh, that's right! He got chloroformed! I totally forgot.
I totally forgot he got chloroformed. Here we
tot-
are, like, oh yeah, he's out doing his thing. He got chloroformed. I still haven't looked into that.
I totally forgot. And that the irons holding him against the stone wall weren't going to budge. They threatened to beat him every time he tried pulling against them. They'd already knocked him about enough to convince him they weren't baffling. Yeah, put your money where your mouth is and put a beat in both these houses. He didn't even know who they were. They were all long robes and hoods to conceal their masked faces. Some of them were armed to the teeth. They spoke in murmurs, all of them growing unceasingly on edge as the day passed. From what he could tell, he had a split lip and could... from what he could tell, he had a split lip and would have some bruises on his face and ribs. They hadn't asked questions before unleashing two of their men on him, though he hadn't been entirely cooperative once he had awoken and found himself here.
I have to interrupt because I looked up some stuff with origins of gas anesthesia, which is the chloroform. Apparently, early use of gas anesthetic was ether that was used in the 1840s in a Massachusetts hospital. So I guess he got ethered.
And is that also around the time of pocket watches?
Yeah, there were pocket watches. We had kid gloves. Well, kid gloves would be later. That when they like really got popular, I think. But I want to say they were in the 1800s. So more evidence towards our time frame.
So no indoor plumbing, go.
Still no indoor plumbing. You're right.
They haven't talked about the plumbing. Do you have just a pit?
No, they've literally talked about the servants having to come to empty buckets. In the sewer.
That's right. That's right. Let's see. Man, Selena would be impressed by just how creative his courses had been before, during, and after the initial beating. Who has time to, like, swear while you're getting beat up?
Who has time to be creative? Not good enough beating, let me tell you. As a long-term consumer of Wumpfic, not being creative enough with the beating.
Literally. In the passing hours, he'd moved only once to relieve himself in the corner. I thought he was chained to the wall.
It's a long chain.
Since when he asked to use the washroom, they just stared at him. Oh, since he asked, okay. And they'd watched him the entire time, hands on those swords. He tried not to snort. They were waiting for something.
He's so confident.
He realized, with a strange clarity as the day stretched into evening. The fact that they hadn't killed him yet suggested they wanted some sort of ransom. Maybe this was the rebel group, seeking to blackmail the king. He'd heard of nobility being captured for that reason, and heard the king himself order the rebels to kill the petty lord or lady because he would not yield to traitorous filth.
Oh, you need to stop
So
kidnapping
petty
lords
must
and
mean
ladies.
something else. When you say like a petty lord, does that
like
mean
small.
a lower class lord?
Yeah, petty doesn't just
Oh.
mean like the attitude. Let me look up petty for us.
Oh my goodness! I wish there was a different phrase for that. Because, you know, in the fic series I like to read it, they totally talk
Of
about...
little importance or trivial.
They
So it's a low-ranking lord.
They totally talk about, like, the petty lords, the petty lords this, the petty lords that. And I have always been interpreting it as though petty. Which they're kind of being in the fic, right? But I interpret it directly as petty because they say petty lords.
No. Wrong kind of use of the word petty.
Wrong
Though, I
petty!
mean, they have the same origins. It's both
Small,
small
yeah.
and insignificant things.
See, that's why you have to kidnap someone bigger than a petty lord. K.O. didn't allow himself to consider that possibility, even as he began saving up his strength.
Dude literally
for
just
what-
considered it. Oh, that's how we know about it. Because we didn't hear about this before.
his strength for whatever stand he'd make before he met his end. Some of his captors whispered in rapid arguments, but they were usually silenced by the others who told them to wait.
Okay, once again, people in the book club are like, oh, Maas always writes stuff for a reason. Like, and when you reread it, you see the importance for later. And I'm like, so then literally, why wasn't this introduced earlier? Where they're like, oh, yeah, here's this problem we're having of... It should have been like, you know, Selena, I need you to kill off these people who are, like, causing trouble in the city because they're kidnapping petty lords and killing them.
Yeah. Yeah, Selena, Maas doesn't write anything for no reason. Maas also never brings up anything before it's relevant. So,
Yeah.
she doesn't write anything for no reason. I wish she would write more things for no reason.
I wish she would give us some more time so that we can think about them and not just be like, slap you in the face, bam!
Boom, carnival, boom, ball, boom, ball, boom, ball, boom. Petty lords get kidnapped. Oh!
Which we learn about after Kale is kidnapped. From his thoughts about being kidnapped. All right, continue. We're 32 minutes in.
Oh my
Pages.
goodness. Don't worry, the light's at the end of the tunnel.
Oh, thank you. Let it not be a freight train.
Some of his listen, he was just pretending to doze off when another of these arguments occurred, a hissing back and forth about whether they should just free him, and then she has dawn. She has until dawn. She'll show up. That would be the worst thing. That word was the worst thing he'd ever heard. Because there was only one she who
Just
would
like
bother to show up for
plans.
him. One she that he could be used against. You
And they
hurt
made their
her,
relationship so
he said,
obvious.
his voice.
Did Archer tell them? Because he knew they were spending time together.
Oh my goodness. Archer kind of slaying?
I really hope he does. I will give Maas one clap if that's what happened.
Yeah. And I
I'm
guess
promising now.
if Archer actually is like in this whole thing and he's like a part of the rebellion, I could see why that's why he didn't run away and leave him.
Yeah.
Or like why he's like, I'm staying to help with this thing still.
Yeah. If that's what
happened.
it is, once again, great.
Clap.
I would very much like Maas to give a reason. Like, she doesn't have to give it right now. We can find it out. But it's like, if there isn't a reason, I'm going to be pretty annoyed.
Yeah.
Anyways, but there will be a clap if Archer is the one who said, go for KL.
One clap. A clap and a half.
Nope, just one clap.
Not even a half. That's two. That's for game theory.
Yeah.
This is just that's for GT Life. You hurt her, he said, his voice hoarse from
And
the
you'll
day
do
without
what?
water. And I'll whip you apart with my bare hands.
Macho? Much?
There were 30 of them, half fully
30
armed,
of them?
and they all turned to him. He bared his teeth, even though his face ached. You so much as touch her, and I'll gut you. One of them, tall, with two swords over his back, one of them, tall, with 2 swords over his back, approached. Even though his face was obscured, K.O. recognized him by his weapons as one of the men who beat him earlier. He stopped just beyond Feanor.
Feanor?
Just beyond where K.O.'s feet could kick. "Good luck with that," said the man. By his voice, he could have been anywhere from 20 to 40. "You'd better pray to whatever gods
masked?
you face." Yeah, no masked.
Is that Archer?
I hope not. I like him. I don't like him being that violent. Physically.
True. I need him to be... He's not a combatant.
He's not combatant. I know Archer. Well, he could be a part of this. He could be threatening, but, he's one of the people who beat up KO. I'm not into that.
Yeah.
If this is Archer.
Yeah. Oh, did you say this is one of the guys who beat him up?
Yeah.
I might have been thinking about other things.
"Good luck with that," the man said. By his voice, he could have been anywhere from 20 to 40. "You'd better pray to whatever gods you favor while your little assassin cooperates."
Your little assassin? How demeaning.
He growled.
She's the king's assassin.
Pulling against the chains. Listen, when Prince Philip pulled against the chains in Sleeping Beauty, that was hot. KO doing this, not hot. It's lame when KO does it.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Whatever. Listen, I remember being a little girl watching Sleeping Beauty, and I totally loved when Prince Philip was captured, and he was all chained up. And there's a part where Malevolent, that baddie is telling him...
That draggy baddie?
That draggy baddie is telling him, what she's gonna do, blah, blah, blah. And he, totally, pulls, stands up and pulls against his chains, and it's, on his wrist, so it's pulling his wrists up. I think it's also on his neck, too. Probably. Anyway. And I always liked that part.
Now... Kale's out here trying to ruin it.
Yeah, Kale, you could never be him.
Could never be Prince Charming.
Prince Philip,
I'm sorry.
Also, Belly says anything. He does not say anything during this whole malevolent monologue scene, because I guess he respects the monologue.
He does.
I love to see.
He learned to respect the monologue.
He, has, 3 speaking scenes, I think,
really?
in that whole movie, because he talks a little bit with Aurora. He talks to his father. That might actually be it.
That's right. His role is to be silent, seen but not heard, to be looked at.
Literally. He's pretty. Anyways, I love the animated Sleeping Beauty. What can I say?
No.
That draggy baddie. I'll get you. What do you want from her? The warrior, he was a warrior. KO could tell just by the way he moved, cocked his head. "None of your business, Captain."
Here's my question. How do you tell the difference between a warrior and a soldier? I feel like it's more in, performance and, life history. I feel like they could have similar bearings.
I would say that a soldier was part of the bigger group of an army.
Yeah, but how would you tell?
I don't know. They didn't mention soldiers. Oh, you're just thinking about that.
I'm just why are we saying warrior? I've noticed this because, in my own writing, I consider warrior, more prestigious than soldier.
Oh, yeah.
So now I'm are we just saying that because we think warrior is better than soldier?
Yeah, well, soldier was you're just a part of the elven army. Warrior, that's Glorfin. Anyway, yeah, the warrior definitely has a little more class to it. He's a warrior.
Prestige.
Man, my tummy be rumbling. Man, why is this so long? This is taking so long to read.
Sorry, everyone, for the scream.
"And keep your mouth shut when she arrives, or else I'll cut your filthy royal tongue." Do they think he's the prince? Another clue.
They would no, because they put the letter in.
Oh, that's right. And they said Captain of the Guard.
Yeah.
Another clue. The man hated royals, which meant these people. I can say filthy royal tongue and not hate royals, just so you know. Not nice assumptions. I guess people got to assume. Had Archer known how
This book
dangerous...
runs on assumptions.
Had Archer known how dangerous this rebel group was?
Yeah, that's why he gave her the name so that they would see her trying to stalk them and they'd take her out.
When he got free, he'd kill him for letting Selena get tangled up with them.
Oh my gosh.
And-
Look, we already know that I don't like this. I don't need to keep rehashing it every time it comes up, so I won't. But
And then he'd make sure that the king and his secret guard got their hands on all these bastards. K.O. yanked on the chains, and the man shook his head. Do that, and I'll knock you out again. For captain of the royal guard, you will fall too easy to capture. This is so dumb. Kale's eyes flashed.
with what?
Only a coward captures men the way you did. A coward or a pragmatist?
I don't know. I feel like gently knocking you out with some ether so that you don't get injured and catching your body so that you don't get a concussion.
We want to concuss you
noble.
later.
Quite noble.
Yeah, coward like a fox.
Nah.
What? Coward like a fox. Not an uneducated warrior, then. Someone with schooling, if he could use vocabulary like that.
If he knew a word like
Pragmatic. Pragmatist. How about a damned fool, Kale said. I don't think you realize who you're dealing with. The man clicked his tongue. If you were that good, you would be more than the captain of the guard.
literally. It's a ceremonial position.
Kale let out a
You
low,
literally don't have to be good at it.
breathy laugh. I wasn't talking about me. She's just one girl. Though his guts twisted at the thought of her being in this place, with these people, though he was considering every possible way to get himself and Selena out of here alive, he gave the man a grin. Then you're really in for a surprise.
Okay, here's my ending thoughts for this chapter.
Who give a shit? Yes.
So, like, sexism can be in books. Sexism can be, like, used as plot, right? But I cannot take these people just being, like, apparently so, just, like, entirely writing off Selena. Mm-hmm. Like, what it's being written as right here. Oh, she's just a girl. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't see how that fits. Like, they've gone through all this trouble to, like, get Kale to send a note. Like, they clearly care about what she's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Why are now they being written to
completely disregard her and be like, she's just a girl.
She can't do anything bad. This is going to be so easy. It just doesn't make sense. I really don't like it. It seems really poultry. Poultry might not be quite the word I'm looking for, but it's just, could we please have someone who, like a group that is not sympathetic to Selena, who isn't written as, like, just the most terrible or incompetent people possible?
Yeah. No, we can't actually. Because if they're gonna be bad, they're gonna be real bad. And God forbid there's any nuance or gray area to be like, hey, these are pretty competent people. They're not, pitted against Selena.
Not incompetent. Why can't they be better than her? You know?
Why can't, God, it's so awful that Selena has to be better than everyone she ever goes up against. It really puts hold on, I'm just being sarcastic for no reason. I'm saying that making Selena have to go up against people who are at least better than her makes it so she can prove her skills or whatever. Mm-hmm. If they're just going to be disregarding her, and then you're like, well, it's 30 people disregarding her, so they're all disregarding her, so it will be easy for her to kill them. And she's so awesome because she killed all these people when they didn't take her seriously. I think it would make Selena, not that I give a fuck because I don't like this book, but it would make Selena, it could show her skills better if she was actually going up against a challenge, and maybe it's really difficult and she's able to win it.
Yeah.
Or, she's just able to escape with KO by the skin of their teeth.
Yeah, which, again, we saw maybe a little bit of improvement in that area from book 1 with the whole stuff with Davis and, like, going to his office. Because that didn't go perfectly. It was admittedly not that challenging.
That totally.
And it didn't really have much. So we were
impact.
already expecting her to succeed because of Maas's writing. But yeah, once again, we're seeing what appears to be a struggle to write appropriate odds to get people invested in what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So those are my concluding thoughts.
That reminds me, I have to talk about Davis and the poison in my little presentation.
Oh. Yeah.
Because that was... Anyway, we don't need to rehash it now. Yeah.
Closing thoughts for you?
I don't like it.
All right. Well,
I don't like it. Okay, well, we'll see you you'll hear us in the next one.
bye-bye.
You'll hear us, but we won't hear you.
No, we won't.